Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Joey, at J1 on the MakeCode Forum.
And I'm Thomas, at Sparks on the MakeCode Forum.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Normally, I am the person who codes, and we have a peanut gallery. And I don't actually know if Thomas and Joey realize that this is what we're doing today. But today we are going to be co-creating a game. So we are all going to be coding. And then through the magic of cross-tab copy and paste, I'm going to try and stitch it all together. So...
oh boy.
So that's the plan. It's probably going to be a huge mess. We have done no preparation for this beforehand. We just want to see how well it goes. And if we can't do it, we can't really expect other folks to do it. So, yeah, that's the plan. But first, we have to decide on what game we're making. I think we should just keep it simple and like do a platformer or something with like, let's add one mechanic on top of it. And then we'll talk about how to divide work.
Could even be simpler than a platformer, some random little top-down, four direction run around kind of game. With enemies that spawn in and chase you.
All right. So what I'm thinking is like, how do we create this such that there are three nicely divisible pieces of work? All right.
Yeah. So I was thinking if you do like a simple thing where there's like a player character, someone can code up like a player character behavior. Someone could code up enemy behavior. Trying to think of, because we really don't want to overlap variables.
I was thinking even like more disparate than that. So I was thinking like one person does core gameplay, one person does the HUD and score and keeping track of all of that stuff. And then one person does a title screen.
Yeah.
I can start on the HUD, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I can do a title screen.
Okay. All right. So what do we have that we're going to be putting into our HUD, I guess? So I'm not going to let Joey get away with just doing score. It's going to be something more complicated than that.
I mean, what is the game going to look like at the start, at the first place, right?
Oh, wait, I have an idea. This is based off of a idea I had a long time ago, which I'm realizing now is just based off the game Downwell.
Okay.
Thomas, have you played Downwell? Are you aware of Downwell?
It's really ringing a bell.
Let me pull up an image of it. Downwell's a great game, by the way. It's the official Richard endorsement.
I'm familiar with this.
So it's a mobile game, and it's a mobile roguelike, a really simple one, where you play a character with gun boots, as you do, and you hold your phone vertically, and you can fire downwards to basically hover. So you have like a number of shots. Every time you fire, there's kickback that like pushes you back up, and also that's how obviously you attack enemies. But I've always really liked the idea of like, you have a character, you have a gun, and if you fire downwards, you can extend your jumps. You know?
Sure.
Also, Downwell rules. Play Downwell if you have it. It's real cheap, and it's got a really cool like 3-color palette and everything. There's so much I like about this game. Also, the developer's second game, Point P, is also awesome. But I think you have to have Netflix for that one. But Point P. Look at this little guy. Look at that little dude. Yeah.
Wow.
So what if we made a platformer where you can shoot downwards and that'll make you hover up, and there's like a reload mechanic, right?
Mhm.
So Joey, the HUD I'm like envisioning is we have like bullet, and then like they disappear, and then it says like reload, and then fills back up. You know?
Okay. So just like have a bullet ammo variable, and then that's updating based off that only.
Yeah. So probably want functions that are like,
Fire.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're going to be in charge of like the actual stuff being drawn to the screen, and also the timing for shots and reloads. So like there should be a certain amount of time in between each thing you fire, and then like an amount of time that reloads happens. If that makes sense.
Been a while since I've done arcade, but I'll get started.
All right. And the what I said bullet image, I mean it can just be like a squircle, like a white squircle or something,
A white what?
A rounded circle, rounded square.
Okay. I thought you said squirrel for a second. I was like, I'm not drawing a squirrel.
No, but like if we want to do like power-ups for like getting more things in your like magazine or whatever, like we want to be able to like draw more of them, like have a max ammo or something. Okay. And all right, for title screen, Thomas, thoughts? Title screen.
It'll say the name of the game, and it'll say press A to begin, and then you press A, and then you begin.
Okay, it's gonna do like a fancy transition and stuff.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Well,
maybe we'll see.
Work your magic, Thomas.
We'll see if we can get there. This will be something.
Okay. All right. Collabo. Let's get started. All right. So the idea here, by the way, is that we're going to be using the new cross-project copy and paste that came in the latest version of Arcade to combine these together. And like I said, there's a pretty big chance this is not going to work out, but maybe it'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both Thomas and Joey are going to give me an earful after here for basically signing them up for work with no prior notice.
Hmm.
Oh wait, now I want this.
Now I'm thinking how would I do a fancy transition? I know you made an extension for it.
I mean, you could just do it. Yeah, you could use the screen transition extension, or you could just use color fading even. Hi, Sonic. Nah, we're just going to do the classic Richard tiles.
This is dumb, but for variables, I'm just going to name all mine Joey whatever. So Joey ammo or something.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it. I don't think we'll collide, but
probably not, but
just debating whether I should go full arcade state transitions or not. Or arcade state, what did you call that extension?
I think it is called Oh, wait, the screen transition one or
the state one.
Yeah, it's state transitions. I think arcade state transitions.
What is the screen transitions one called?
I think it's called arcade screen transitions. If I know past me, and I do. All right, we're just gonna do the boring tiles. All right. So we're gonna need some death lava. And and some background. And we need a player spawn. By the way, let me know what extensions you use. I mean, you can use whatever you want, but I will have to add those to the project before I copy and paste the code.
Okay, so it doesn't auto.
No, it doesn't. It warns you if you're using stuff that isn't in the current project. And then we're going to have a victory tile. There we go. All right. Now let's make our character. It's going to be a little dude. We'll animate this guy later, by the way. Okay, I'm going to add a on-tile map loaded event, and we will just try to initialize all this stuff. So we're going to turn on walls for all of the ground tiles, which thankfully there's a block for doing all at once now. In here somewhere. Set wall. Here we go. I'm going to turn it on for all of our ground tiles. We're going to cover up our spawn tile. And stick our player on top of that tile. And we are going to move with buttons, but only in the X. And we'll make this be like 50 and do the classic platformer stuff. You know what? I don't know if I'm just noticing now because of the dark theme, but have these always been slightly different colors? The icons and the thing on the left?
No, they shouldn't be. Although we do some fudging of those
like
colors
dark
in the dark
10%
theme to make them more visible. So it's probably that.
Hmm. All right, we got to make sure we're on the ground. So we're going to do if is hitting wall, bottom, then make a variable jump height, make another variable gravity, set gravity to 500, set jump height to 32, and we're going to go ahead and set those on our. So set the gravity right here. And then we're going to set the velocity right here, which is, if you remember our magic equations, it is 0 minus square root of 2 times gravity times jump height will give you the correct velocity. All right. There you go. So now I can jump, and I can jump 4 tiles high, which, yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Too slow. Move faster. There you go. Okay. Slightly better. All right. So we want to do that kickback thing that we were talking about. So being able to fire projectiles. So I'm going to make a function which is going to be called fire projectile. And this will eventually hook into what Joey's doing. But what we're going to do right now is just make this fire projectile regardless of ammo or anything like that. And if we fire downwards, we're going to want it to kick us back a bit. So let's go ahead and start by creating a sprite. We're going to make this be 2 high and like 4 wide, and then just make it like a white rectangle, basically. Or we could even do that to make it look kind of like a bullet. We're going to go ahead and make this kind projectile. Let's go ahead and make temp sprite, and let's rename my sprite to be the player. There you go. All right. So we want to fire this guy from our sprite. So let's go ahead and set its position to be our sprite position. And we also want to give it velocity based off the direction we're facing. So now we're going to add the character animations extension. So grab that. All right, so right now we haven't actually animated our player, but we're going to go ahead and give them different images based off of just the direction they're facing. So let's go ahead and take this guy and center him. I might end up changing the size. I don't know. But we're going to go into character animations. We're going to grab the loop frames. And we want to loop the frames on our player. So for facing right, we're just going to loop a single image, which is going to be this one. Copy that. Paste. And then we're just going to reverse that for the other one. And we're going to do this one as facing right and this one as facing left. Okay, so now we should actually be turning, which, yeah, looks good. All right. So we want this to fire in whichever direction we're facing, and then eventually we're going to also make it fire downwards. So for now, let's just fire in the direction we're facing. We're going to go ahead and put it in an if statement, go into character animations, grab this, and then change this to be is facing right. So if we're facing right, we want to set the velocity to be I don't know, the 200. It's better make him go fast. There we go. All right. So, we haven't actually called this. So right now, let's just call this inside of B. Man, I narrowly dodged a quarter there.
That's the real reason that he's making us do this. It's because he doesn't want to get a quarter.
Yep, you got me. Okay, we can fire these projectiles. They never get destroyed, and but they also face the same direction regardless of which direction we're firing. So let's fix all that. We're going to go ahead and set the auto destroy flag on these guys. And we're going to also set destroy on wall. By the way, these are the two flags that automatically get set by the create projectile block. Okay, so if we are facing right, setting the velocity like that is all good, but we want to make it so that we, why is this guy not going on top of the tile, by the way? Oh, I'm creating the player after I set the tile map. There we go. Cool. All right, now I'm up here. So we want these bullets to face different directions if we're firing to the left or right. So we're just going to set the image in this if statement right here. Change this to be temp sprite. Copy this image over and flip it. All right. So now fire, 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 fire. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, right. A is jump. Fire, 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 fire. Cool. And finally, we want to be able to fire downwards. So to fire downwards, we're just going to check if the down button is pressed and we are not on the ground. So let's first make sure that well, we're going to have to do this in an and. We can't do nested if statements for this one. All right. Need a not. And then this check right here is hitting wall bottom. And we want to check is down press. And then we can put this in else if, stick it there, and then in the else, whoops. We have that. Okay. And let's move the set position down at the bottom because we're going to be setting the image to a different size here. So that would get messed up. We're going to rotate this. So there we go. All right. So now I can, I think I need, oh, whoops, got to set the velocity too. Cool. All right. This works. By the way, you guys let me know when you are ready to, you know, send stuff over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no rush. Okay, all right. Let's make our player a different color because I don't like how he's all blended in, and we'll do a little bit of animating now. So we're going to go ahead and make this guy be, you know what, let's make him green, like an helium. Or we can make him a cat. It's kind of classic us, so. All right, we're going to be doing a real simple walking animation. All right, make this be like 50. And there you go. Okay, so just real basic walking. We'll animate the tail a little bit. So when he goes upwards, we'll make the tail flatten out a little bit. And then when he goes back down, we'll make it go like that. So now it's kind of like bouncing a little bit. All right. So let's copy this animation over here. We're going to just pull this out. Remember, in the latest update, we made it so that now you can press Shift and H and flip them all at once, which is real nifty for stuff like this. And man, it used to take us so long to loop those things, well, to reverse them in the past. This is much better. And we want to make this be facing right and moving facing left and moving. And now we want to do some idle animations for when we are not moving. So let's do facing right and not moving. We're going to take this and delete, 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 delete. And we're going to just make them bounce up and down idly. Boop. And make that slower. There we go. And go ahead and duplicate this. Make this facing left. Shift H. And now we should have, there we go. We got a little cat. Yeah, look at him. Cute little guy. So let's do the basics for, making this be an actual game. We're going to make it so that when we overlap with this lava, we die. Collapse blocks. Whoops. Format code. We're going to go to scene. We're going to do on overlaps lava. And now, okay, so we could just do the thing where we do on overlaps lava, game over, lose, which if we do that real quick, it has this like without ever actually hitting the lava. You did hit the lava, but we didn't actually wait for it to draw. We just immediately did game over before the draw happened. So it looks like you were floating above the lava. So because this is supposed to be lava, we can just kind of make it so that we actually check to make sure that we are like overlapping with it for real. So I guess we could just make sure we're overlapping with it for more than one frame, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or if we just do a separately do, that'll probably work, right? Yeah, that works. Cool. All right. And now let's do the same thing for our and let's do the other stuff we have to do, except this will be a game over win, obviously. We need to do the camera stuff. So let's make this level be more than one screen. Just up this to 40. And I'm just going to...
Did we have a better way to write text to the screen than text right currently? I forget.
I'm already using fancy text if you want to use that.
Fancy text? Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
I'll add in fancy text then.
Better than fancy text. As if.
I forgot fancy text, to be honest. I was still thinking of text right.
Right. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and make the camera follow this dude. So go into scene, camera follow sprites, the player. And now we can do that and game over, win. We did it. Hooray. Yeah, we're the best. Okay. So last thing we have to do is we need to make it so that we actually get a kickback now from this firing. So to do that, let's go ahead and go to our fire projectile right here. We are going to set our velocity. We need like a kickback height, basically. So we have a jump height. Let's make another variable. We're going to call this kickback height. And let's just set this to be something big and obvious right now. We'll do half a jump, so 16. And let's go to our jump code. We're going to copy this stuff and stick this right here and switch out jump height for kickback height. All right, so now I can fly by shooting downwards. All right, cool, okay. So let's make this be a little bit more reasonable. Let's make it be like, I don't know, let's see what 8 feels like. Yeah, that's better. So it's like, you know, good for like hovering. We're also going to make it so that you hold to fire, but we kind of need the like ammo tracking stuff before it makes sense to code that. So, all right, let's do levels real quick, or maybe enemies. I guess we should do an enemy. Let's do an enemy. It's gonna replace my initial image. There we go. All right, so we're gonna make an enemy. What is the enemy of cats?
Red pandas.
String.
I'm sorry, string is the enemy? I think it's the friend of cats.
My cats always attack it. Therefore, it is an enemy.
Cats attack their friends.
I guess that's true. Pretty sure lilies are toxic to cats.
True. Trying to see how small I can draw a little devil. Gonna have to make him bigger. Just think it'll be cute to have a little guy with a little pitchfork, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, no, scrap this. Okay. Also, he looked like a guy with a little menorah, which is different. Okay, string is kind of hard to draw. They don't like vacuum cleaners. That's true. Okay, we'll do a robot. What is a vacuum cleaner but a robot? I know we've had a lot of discussions on our team about what constitutes a robot. So I do have a question for you, Joey. Is a vacuum cleaner a robot?
It's pretty robotic. I guess one question is it is it a Roomba or is it a not Roomba?
Or is it a what?
Not Roomba. The other classification of vacuum cleaners.
It's like a Roomba, but we're not going to make it actually look like a Roomba. It's going to, look
okay,
like
so it's a sentient vacuum.
I don't know if it's sentient. I feel like
that's what you pay for when you get a Roomba, right? A sentient vacuum.
I hope the Roomba's not sentient. That makes me feel bad. I have a Roomba. I don't actually use it.
Oh, you're not even letting it do its job. That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Okay, so we're gonna make these guys be Koopas. They're going to red Koopas specifically. They're going to walk back and forth and not fall off of platforms. So we are going to give these guys gravity. I don't know if that's actually going to matter or not yet, but maybe it will. And we're going to stick them, spawn them on the map. So let's go to our map. We're going to go ahead and make an enemy tile, make it blue, put a big old E on it. And let's make a platform up here. Stick this guy on it. Stick this guy right here. Stick this guy right here. And there we go. Okay. So we're going to go to our on tile map loaded. And for each of these tiles, first we're going to cover them up. And then we're going to do a for of loop. And grab a list of all those tiles. And for each of these, we're going to call make robot. And we're going to do place on top of location. Non-random. Always grab the random one, even when I don't want it. There you go. Okay, so we should have some. Yeah, there's a robot right there. Cool. All right, got robots. So we want to make these guys walk back and forth. So we're going to give them a 50% chance and set their velocity to be either left or right. And we have to give these guys AI. So right now they just jump right off the edge. We want to give them the most basic AI, which is making sure that they don't do that. So let's just, you're using the arcade state transitions already, right? So, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to mess with you anyway.
Yeah.
What? You decided not to?
Yeah. Doing my own thing.
I'm also just doing my own thing.
Actually, I don't need this. Okay, here's a bug. Wait, should this say state or should it say state transitions?
I don't recall.
Maybe it does just say state. Okay. We're going to use the on-game update from Sprite Utils. So every time I'm like S or no S, S or no S.
Mm.
All right, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to be checking the velocity We're going to see if the velocity is less than 0, which means we're going to the left, or if it's greater than 0, which means we're going to the right. And we're going to check the tile that is below the left or right side. So we're going to grab the tile map column row block, and we're going to grab the tile map location in direction block. All right. Or I guess we don't actually need the one in direction since we're calculating the row anyway. Okay. All right. So we are going to, for the row, we're going to be doing the integer division of our sprites x, I'm sorry, y, by our tile width, which is 8. And we're going to be adding 1 to this. And then, because we want the one below. And then for the column, we want to do it based off of the left because we're moving to the left. So we're going to go ahead and do the left integer divide by 8. And so then right here, we're going to say, if this is not a wall, that means that we are currently about to fall off. And we are going to set our Vx to be the negated Vx. Whoops. Got to make sure that inside of this on-game update, you use the local sprite variable, not temp sprite. All right, so these guys should turn, oh, whoops. This guys should turn in the left. Oh, I realized they're starting in the air, so they're immediately turning. Let's do turning right so that we can actually see this like happen. So we're gonna do if the right then we want to negate. All right, so there we go. Okay, Koopa behavior. Look at these guys. Oh, this dude's just not doing anything, huh? I guess we should also make him. He hit the wall here, so he just stopped. So we'll just give. Well, we can't do bounce on wall, can we? I guess we'll just do if is hitting wall left or is hitting wall right. What's up, Joey?
Which font embodies reloading to you, Richard?
What?
Which font embodies the word reloading to you of your
something with serif.
Okay, so geometric serif 6. Let's try that.
Sure. All right.
That's good.
Okay, wait. So how do we make this guy bounce off this wall when he hits it? I guess we can. So we can't do the is hitting wall check because of how our physics engine works. I guess we can do if our Vx equals 0. Then we will just detect if there's a wall to the right of us or if there's a wall to the left of us. So if tile at tile to the right of, oh wait. Okay, wait. Tile map location of sprites, and then tile and direction. Put this in here. Make this be right. Stick this right here. Make this be sprite. And if that's the case, we want to set the velocity to be going to the left. Else, we want to set the velocity to be going to the right. Okay.
All right. I have my title screen ready for you.
There you go. All right, cool. Now look at this. Look at this guy. He's bouncing around just like we want. Okay. All right, share it up.
It's shared. I haven't been paying any attention to what you're doing, so
No worries.
you know, thematically it will be what it is.
A surprise coding test. Boom shoes. Pressing to begin. Oh, great. That's awesome.
There you go. And I'll have you know, I really wanted to put things in many functions, but I resisted to save you the trouble.
Oh, okay.
I am doing so as well.
Cool. All right. So we're going to try to copy and paste this over to our game over here. So let's start with, first, so you have fancy text in here. Did you add any other extensions?
Fancy text, sprite util, and arcade timers. Are the ones
Okay, and timers. Gotcha. All right. So the only one I have to add here is fancy text. All right, cool. So let's copy show first. Head over here, paste it in. So far, so good. Head over here, copy this, paste that. Still no obvious problems. And then we want to do this. Okay, so really, actually, we only need these two functions. So
that's the hope.
All right, so we're going to grab this on start stuff, and we're going to put this inside of a function we're going to call game start. There we go. And let's go ahead and call show title screen. Oh, gotta grab the move too. Boom shoes. Say to begin. All right. So we're gonna go over to, I guess we can go ahead and use state transitions. So we will set global state to title screen inside of this show title screen function. Whoops.
Yeah, you can probably get rid of the issue title variable and just use state transitions.
Oh, I see. You have a variable there.
Yeah, but I think state transitions is better if you're using it.
All right. Pull that out. And then we're going to go into state, grab an A button pressed in title, and then we're going to call begin hide title screen. This pauses, right?
No, I don't think
Does
so.
it?
No, it could do. But
Oh, I see. Okay, so we will just in here change the state.
Yeah.
Or, we'll just call start game in here.
You probably still want to change the state, so you're not in title state anymore.
Yeah, we have to, but we have to do that
the
like
start game already set the state.
Yeah, I guess I was going to do it in the button handler, but I think it probably makes sense to do it in the function instead. So title.
That you probably want to do in the after a 1 second timer thing. Oh, you're doing a title ending state.
Yeah, we don't want this to trigger multiple times if we press A twice.
Makes sense.
And then we will, inside of game start, we'll go ahead and change it to be game. That, and then we're going to do a game button handler and stick this in here. Okay. All right, boom shoes. Press A to begin. Cool. All right. Whoa. Okay, wait. How did I break the fire projectile? Head over here. I must have messed with it with the enemy AI. Yep. There we go. Great. All right. Oh, wait. Now I'm like not even flying with the... Did I accidentally get rid of the kickback height? No, here it is. 8.
What's that up?
Set velocity to 2 times gravity. Oh, I must have accidentally pulled this out. Oh, whoops. We'll fix that. Cool. All right. How's it going, Joey?
1 second. I think I just okay, I see. I dragged something where it shouldn't have gone. Actually, I don't know why it popped out what I put in there.
All right. This is actually going really well so far. That went together nicely.
Yeah, not too bad.
I'm glad you used the Gothic text. It always
You know, anytime you get the chance to use Gothic text, it reminds me of being in like middle school, elementary school, PowerPoint presentation land.
Yep. The font I definitely spent the most time working on, but it's used the least.
Set sprite Y to...
I'm sad to see that the cat does not, in fact, have boom shoes, though. So maybe we'll have to choose a new name.
Yeah,
That's okay.
We'll figure something. You want me to give him little boots? I give him little boots.
Oh, you could give him little boots, but it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, Joey's giving me a
just arcade. Wait, no, arcade sprite util, and I did timers just because I didn't want to think about.
Yeah, that's good. I already have both of those. All right, cool. So, oh, nice. And then B is reload. Cool. All right.
Ugly, but working.
Nice. Okay. So we will start with this try reload. Paste that in. So far, so good. Wait, did I don't know if I was clicked in here. Yeah, there we go. And then we want to grab the Z index. Very good. And then we want to grab this with all of Joey's Joey variables.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll stick all of these into game start. All right. Now let's look what we got. All right. So we have this state, which is reloading, firing. We're changing our ammo. And let's see, this is where we're actually drawing the thing. So we have a image for the ammo and then the empty ammo. And we have let's see the variables. We have fire delay, reload duration, current ammo, max ammo. All right, great. So let's take this render on Z index, and we're going to go ahead and stick this inside of a global state is. And we will make this be a game. And then we want to grab try fire and try reload. So inside of projectile, fire projectile, we're just going to go ahead and say, wait, try fire.
It returns true if it could fire at this time, and false if, you know, your button should be ignored.
Very cool. All right.
Same with reload, but I don't know if that you're not going to change anything for not being able to reload when you're trying. You're like trying to reload in the middle of the shot.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do if not try fire. Just return, right?
Yep.
And then else, we're going to put an else in here, and we're going to say if our ammo equals 0, we're just going to automatically kick the reload with the same button. So
oh, that won't work without I have it, because I have it as firing and reloading as can't reload if actively firing. I can make it doesn't make that much. It's not that hard.
What happens if you?
It just drops it based off state.
So if the state, so
you
could
can
I
add
just
in or
always call try reload?
I mean, that will.
Oh no. So if I want to just, if the ammo is equal to 0, I want to call try reload every time.
Oh, if you try and fire on empty, then that would reload on that press. Yes.
Yes. So if Joey current ammo equals 0, then we're going to try reload, and then we're always going to call try fire, which is only going to work.
This is the next shot.
This should work, right? So fire. And it's just reloading. Cool. All right. This is working perfectly. So I want to make it so it continuously fires. So we're going to go to, right now we have it inside of an on B button pressed. We're going to do this inside of an on game update in state game. Oh, whoops. Then we are just going to call fire projectile if the B button is pressed. So this should just fire as quickly as possible as long as you hold down the B button. Nice. Cool. All right, let's make it way faster. So we'll go to our fire delay, and we'll make this be like 50, and we're going to set the reload to be half. So we'll just do 500. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Cool. All right. And we can like change the max ammo and stuff, right, Joey? Like it'll.
Yeah, I didn't add in a function for it, but it will update the rendering if you change the max ammo, and next reload will update it. I didn't have anything for.
Very cool. Okay, wait. This worked out like super well, right? Like I think we could actually encourage people to do this. I mean, I feel like you have to be a little careful about extensions. But
we had to be pretty deliberate about separation of concerns, but
that's true. Yes,
that's true. I think my variables help.
What do you say, Joey?
My variables.
Oh yeah, that all of your variables say Joey on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
like
smoother than I thought it would. I mean, yeah. If I had just been programming it myself, there would have been like 3 more functions for you to copy, but even then, it's not too bad.
that's totally fine though. Like I don't mind copying more, but I feel like one recommendation could be that you have everyone code separately, and then you have a more experienced coder stitch. Or we could make it so that everyone codes separately, and then you sit together and stitch it all together, so that you make sure that everybody kind of understands what's going on.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, this is our game. It's not got a lot going on, but this was a good experiment. I'm glad we did it.
It's got some pew-pews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might keep working on this at some point. I like this idea, so yeah, it feels good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the chat. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember, we have a mini game jam going on right now. So just a reminder that you can find all the details about that on the forum. The theme is tiny games, so you can take that however you want. It could be games with tiny sprites, games with tiny length, games with a tiny screen. We need to do that. I still want to make a game before the game jam's over where we just do something with like the tiniest screen possible.
What if we made a puzzle game where we just make it so we're not like adjusting the actual screen size? Maybe we adjust it up so it's easier, or just like adjust it one time. But we start by 2x2 puzzle, which is obviously like you go up and then right, and then you expand to a 3x3 puzzle just by rendering it differently, and you go,
I see. Yeah, we can't.
A simple maze thing,
Mm-hmm.
not adjusting the actual screen dimensions, but maybe we make it like 320 by like some 256 by 256 to start.
I did do that as a cursed game jam thing.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, once. Also, one other thing is we could do. Oh man, we just need to make sure we don't do a Sokoban game. This is an actual excerpt from my friend Discord from this morning, which is that the theory is that Sokoban games are just never fun, still awaiting conclusive proof, but also has not been disproven by any available evidence. To which I responded, I believe there must be a fun Sokoban game out there, but it is purely blind faith. I have never played one. So
what about I'm forgetting the name of it. What's the Sokoban game where you adjust the rules of the game? You move them around.
I don't think you can call Baba Is You a Sokoban game.
I feel like it counts. It's Sokoban vibe.
Okay, you know what? I'll bring this up with my group chat. This is actually
I would love to hear their opinions on it. To me, like it's like the root of it is Sokoban, but the Sokoban pieces are the game itself.
You are correct. It is a Sokoban with a twist. So that's actually a pretty good counter example.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Rich at the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Joey at J1 on the MakeCode Forum.
And I'm Thomas at Sparks on the MakeCode Forum.
And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.